Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Hi, and welcome to Tell the Truth. We have something pretty fascinating to start with. This is an art exhibit, except two of the paintings are not by professional artists. This first one, if we can get a close-up, is a painting that was done in the style of Utrillo, or Utrillo if you prefer, and it was done by President John F. Kennedy. This is an original, not a copy. Now, over here, we have another painting, and this appears to be a picture of the Kennedy compound at Hyannisport, and it was done by Senator Teddy Kennedy. Now, this third picture was done by a real artist who helped the Kennedy brothers in learning their art, and he painted with them and shared his knowledge. And we're going to meet him as soon as we've met our art-knowledgeable panel here on To Tell the Truth.
Heavy Pass. Bill Cullen. Kitty Carlisle. And Tom Kennedy.
All right.
Whatever you say, Doc.
What did I say, Doc? Well, first thing I said is how glad we are to have Tom Kennedy with us all this week.
Thank you, Gary.
Shit.
Pleasure being here.
Tom, do you paint?
Do I paint?
Yeah.
No, I don't paint.
Only anybody on the
Painted a
panel
few
does, don't
pencils.
you?
I don't.
Well, I'll tell you, we've got
My face.
only un peu. And Tiny, you just put a nose on in the morning,
Well, I
right?
didn't say it.
Now, let us then meet the painting instructor to the two Kennedy brothers.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Robert Morey.
Number two.
My name is Robert Morey.
Number three.
My name is Robert Morey.
Three positive gentlemen, only one, of course, is Robert Morey, and here is his palatable pronouncement. It says here, I, Robert Morey, am an artist and a former U.S. Marshal. Through the years, I have had numerous painting sessions with two remarkably gifted non-professionals, President John F. Kennedy and Senator Edward M. Kennedy. The president had a great interest in art. He was originally inspired by the vivid colors, the sweeping landscape, and distinctive architecture of his native New England. Later, he painted a wide variety of scenes. Here is a painting by President Kennedy of a French street scene that is reminiscent of the work of Utrillo. I encouraged Senator Edward Kennedy to paint after his plane crash in 1964. And I must say, he really knows his craft. This work, done in acrylic and called Compound Hyannisport, was finished by Senator Kennedy during a painting session with me in 1969. Here is one of my own paintings called Kennedy for President. It is an abstract of the Democratic Convention of 1960 showing JFK on the teeming convention floor. Signed, Robert Morey. And, panel, while you turn your thoughts to the easel, we'll go out and make some bread.
Brought to you by the Olive Garden. When you're here, you're family.
We got a fascinating spot here. We have three gentlemen, all of whom claim to be Robert Morey, the artist who gave painting instructions to President Kennedy and Senator Edward Kennedy. And we'll start the questioning with the maid from Massachusetts, Miss Peggy Campbell.
Thank you. Number three, how did you become friendly with the Kennedys?
Back in 1946, when he first decided to run for Congress.
Are you from Massachusetts?
Yes.
I see. Number one is, what is Utrillo's first name?
Maurice.
Thank you. Number two, who did the official portrait of President and Mrs. Kennedy?
Marx.
Carl? I see. No. Number three, what New England artist was famous for seascapes?
Winslow Helmer.
Thank you. And number 1, who did the portrait of President Johnson that he didn't think was such 100% good?
Peter Hurd.
Thank you. Number 2, have you ever shown professionally?
Yes, I have.
Where?
Museum of Fine Arts in Boston.
Was that a show or just an oh, I see. Are you represented by a gallery, number 2?
Yes, I was.
Which one?
Shaw's Gallery on Beacon Street.
Thank you. Number 3, and that's in Boston, right?
Right.
Thank you.
You'll squeeze a name in every chance you get.
Why not a little hometown
I'm from
publicity?
Baltimore, friends. Let's have a little hand for Baltimore. Too late. If it isn't spontaneous, it doesn't count.
They knocked off the Red
Let's go to
Sox,
Bill
forget
Cullen.
'em.
John Kane, one of the famous primitive artists, came from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I just thought I'd get that in there. And number 1, where did John Kane, one of the famous primitive artists, come from?
He came from Pittsburgh.
Right, you see there, a pure and simple guess. Number 3, Jacqueline Kennedy recently had a painting done in connection with a magazine, I believe. It was originally...
No.
Yeah, it appeared in a magazine.
Right.
Right,
I just asked
Harper's,
a
was it?
question.
Yes. No, you asked Johnson. You asked Johnson. Number 3, who did the Jacqueline Kennedy question?
I believe it was Schickler from New York, an artist. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name properly.
Right, and number 1, I think you answered Peter Hurd in reference to the Johnson question.
Correct,
Is that
that's right.
Number 1, what is a maul stick?
A maul stick is usually a long stick that has a pad on the end that you use as a prop for your arm against an oil canvas.
Number 3, there's a famous American realist who now has an exhibition. I better not use the word now because we're on tape. Who has an exhibition at the Whitney. He's a famous painter of light and light effects, and he's very famous. He's been dead about 4 years. Can you tell me his name?
No, I can't.
Oh dear, I just wish I had one. That's all.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. We're going to get to Kitty. Maybe Christmas.
Number 1, what 2 French brothers were very famous for painting seascapes and sailboats and things?
Number 1?
Yes.
You've stumped me. I
I've
don't
stumped
really know.
you. Oh, dear. Number 2, Jacqueline Onassis paints. Have you ever seen any of her pictures?
No, I have not.
Number 3, what is the easiest medium for a beginner to start with?
Well, in recent years, acrylics
Is that the
has
easiest?
become very popular.
And number 1, what did President Kennedy and the Senate start with?
Both of them started with pastels, actually.
Is that, in your opinion, the easiest?
Well, it's quick. I mean, I think that's the biggest problem. You know, you have a problem controlling paint, and you can rub the pastels out very
I
quickly,
see.
that's all.
Number...
And that takes us to Tom, please.
Number 3, do you feel that you could teach any Kennedy how to paint?
Well, I think they all have talent.
It's a facetious question, but number 1, rather, are politicians very patient type students?
Well, I believe, in my experience, I would say yes. They generally are doing it for relaxation, and you know, it isn't something that they're uptight about. It doesn't matter to them. They're doing it for fun. So sure, they're.
But they
relaxed.
take instructions well.
Oh yes, yes.
Number 2, were either Jack or Teddy Kennedy left-handed?
No, they were not.
And what is the difference, number 3, between acrylics and oils? I've never known.
Well, the binding of the medium is bound with acrylics with a plastic instead of a linseed oil or turpentine.
And number 1, how does one go from a marshal to being a painter? How did that happen?
Well, actually, my background is painting. The Marshall thing really came as a result, quite honestly, of my exposure to John F. Kennedy.
And number...
Hey, there goes the questioning time, and it becomes balloting time. You all make yourselves busy while the audience and I take a look at number 1,
I'm going to do this.
and another look at number 2,
I am going to go.
and another look at number 3. It would cost us $50 for each wrong vote and $500 if none of the votes comes out to be right. And Peggy, you look like you're having trouble, dear.
I am. I don't think it's number 2 because of Marx. It was Schickler. I never heard of a mall stick. I'm sure you're right, but number 3 seems more like a Kennedy person to me, so I voted for him.
That's a 3 we got.
I mean 3. Did I say 2? 3.
No, you said 3, and that's what's showing. Let's go to Bill Cullen.
Oh, no, I agree with Peggy on the marks as far as number 2 is concerned. Number 3 had all the right answers, but number 1 had all the right answers, plus he had the knowledge of what a maul stick was. And not many people know. They haven't, well, it's not used much. It hasn't been used since my day, but on the basis of the maul stick, I voted for number 1.
Well, you got a 3 and a 1, and a Kitty Carlisle coming out.
Well, I voted for number 1 because I think he's gay and fun, and I think they would like him. And I think that he knew a great deal about painting. And I was talking about the Duffys, but it was a very weak explanation.
Those are Duffys that changed their name.
They were that. And let's go to Tom Kennedy, please.
Well, number 3 actually sounded more like, as a matter of fact, he even sounded like one of the Kennedys, and I thought they'd throw him in just to throw us off.
Hey, do
and
that
I was
sort of
very
thing.
much impressed by the mall stick thing.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
anybody who knows John, Kane, has got to be all right in my book. I went with number 1.
Number 1 has almost got the whole thing wrapped up. We're going to have to see about this Will the Real.
I can tell an artist when I see one. Go on.
Who have you gone for?
I went for number 3 because of Aaron Schickler.
Will, you can tell an artist when you see one.
Of course.
You want to change your vote?
No.
I'll give you a chance to change your
No,
vote.
I'm not changing.
You're right.
Okay. Will, it's not in the rules, but I'll let you change if you
I
want.
don't want to change. He looks Irish to me, and I think he was with the
I'll
Kennedys.
take the curtain.
Will the Real, Robert Morey, please stand up. I tried to talk you out of it. Sorry about that. And let's find out about number 1, sir. What is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Clark Robinson. I'm a creative director, vice president in an advertising agency in New York, Friedrich, Fearon, and Strohmeyer.
Good to have you here. And number 2, sir, what is your real name, please, and what
My
do you
name
do?
is Robert G. Greeley. I'm vice president of the nation's largest record storage, New England Storage Warehouse Company in Boston.
Mr. Morey, are we to assume then that Robert Kennedy never painted?
Not to my knowledge, Gary.
It seems strange. I believe you told me that this one of John F. Kennedy does not belong to Jacqueline Onassis.
Well, not to my knowledge. I know that there's 3 that I know of, and Ethel Kennedy has 2, and this is a personal friend owns this, this Trello here.
Well, it's been a fascinating spot, and thank you very much, Mr. Morey and Imposters, for being with us on To Tell the Truth. Dumb Peggy Cass. It's
Yeah.
It has often been said that you can't take it with you. Well, now, Peggy, in a couple of minutes, you're going to meet a lady who did. She left New York, and she took with her the most delicious part of this city. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. And now let's say hello to the lady who moved far, far away from New York.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Georgina Newman.
Number 2,
My name is Georgina Newman.
number 3,
My name is Georgina Newman.
All right, only one of them is, of course, and here is Georgina Newman's migratory message. Oh, ladies, don't move back. Number 3, don't leave us so soon. You're too pretty. Come back and stand on your mark. There you go. Here's the way the story goes. It says, I, Georgina Newman, have completely changed my lifestyle. Just 10 years ago, my husband and I were part of the New York City advertising and publishing world. After a vacation in Wyoming, we decided not to go back east. Instead, we decided to bring a touch of New York sophistication to a ghost town in Wyoming called Atlantic City, which was a gold rush town in 1868. We opened a restaurant now called the Miner's Delight, which was named for the principal gold mine there. And instead of serving the local specialties of steak and frozen lobster tails, we serve only exquisite gourmet food. Our clients never know what they're getting to eat because we decide at the last minute whether the meal for the day will be blanquette de veau, tornadoes with béarnaise, or breast of chicken under glass. Well, we must be doing something right. Although we're the most expensive restaurant in our area, hungry customers come to eat at our restaurant from as far away as 300 miles. Signed, Georgina Newman. I was wondering what you were dreaming about. I haven't been to Atlantic City in years. Let's go to Tom Kennedy, please.
I thought they were tornadoes.
In Wyoming, yes.
Number 3, why was Atlantic City named Atlantic City out there in Wyoming?
Of course, it's on the Atlantic side of the Continental Divide. The Pacific side is Pacific Ocean.
That
so
makes
it would
a
be
lot of
Pacific
sense.
City.
Number 2, how long have you been in Atlantic City, if it doesn't say here? 10 years ago, I see.
10 years.
I'm sorry, I answered my own question. How long did you live in New York before that?
Oh, most of the adult life, I would say.
You're not
You
going
really
to tell
want
us your
dates?
age, are you?
If I can help it, yes.
All right, number 1, in New York City, you were in the publishing field, is that?
Yes, that's correct.
How does that in any way qualify you for the restaurant business?
Well, it doesn't. That's just the beauty of it.
Well, number 3, and it's a gourmet shop.
This is Tom, and we go down to Peggy.
Thank you. Number 1, what is a croquant bouche?
A croquant bouche is a sandwich which is made of cheese and ham, which is grilled on
Thank you. Now,
that enough?
number 3, what's vitello tonato?
I have no idea.
Thank you. And number 2, what does the word Coors mean to you if you were a beverage?
Beverage,
Coors?
as in C-O-U-R-S.
C-O-O-R-S.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking of the wrong one. Not with a beverage.
Okay, thank you. Number 1, what is the kind of alcohol that is, when you make chicken merengue, what kind of alcohol do you put in it?
I use red wine.
Thank you. And number 3, how long?
And thank you, Peggy. We're going to go to Bill.
Well, knowing little or nothing about food, I'll dwell on the New York aspect of your life, number 3. You said your husband and you were in the publishing and art field, is that correct? Number 3?
Well, my husband was
In
in
New
the
York.
advertising business, and I was in the publishing business.
What advertising outfit was he with? Can you mention that?
Well, at one time he was with the Cudner Agency, and another time he was with an Urban Wazy Agency,
And I'll then go to number 1. You went to Wyoming and you decided to stay there because why? You just didn't like the New York life or what? I won't
No,
put
it
words.
got to be a little bit hectic, and it was so beautiful out there. And my husband had a high blood pressure condition, so that we felt life would be much simpler and much more agreeable, which it is.
You mean that you think that life in Wyoming, in Atlantic City, that little town, is more relaxing than life here in New York City?
Indeed it is.
I believe
How
that.
could you? Let's finish with Kitty, please.
Well, I'm fascinated. Number 2, who else lives in this ghost town?
Originally, when we first got there, 3 people.
And number 3, where do you do your shopping? Number 3. Number 3! Where do you do your shopping?
Well,
She's over there caught in a
35
tornado.
miles away. Land of Wyoming. 35 miles away.
Oh,
Land
and
of
number 1,
Wyoming.
how many people live there now?
17.
And number 2, how much do your meals cost?
Per person,
Yeah.
$6.50, which is very high.
And number 3, how many people does your restaurant seat?
36 people.
And number 1, how near are you to Cody?
We are about 400 miles.
Oh, my goodness, you're really in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, we are.
You'll get
And
me
number
from
2, have you got
Wyoming.
any children? They go to school out there or anything?
The schools are excellent out there.
But they go quite far away, no?
I'm sorry, Kitty. We're going to have to stop asking and start making a decision. So you'll find a ballot in front of you, and we'll take a look at our ladies. We'll look at number 1, and we'll look at number 2, and we'll look at number 3. The usual penalties are in force, of course, and Tom Kennedy starts us.
Well, I think, Gary, I forgot to write it down, but while I'm talking. Number 1 has on a Max Factor type suntan. The other 2 have real Wyoming type suntans, but I think number 3 is the one who had the most explicit answers and the best tan.
That being so, why did you then put that on number 1? He's a guest. He can change. He's a guest. He can change. He can too.
Whatever.
No,
Gee.
you want a 3?
Huh?
Oh, that's to you. That means I'm
Well,
wrong.
listen, he hasn't heard anybody else's opinion, so it doesn't make
haven't
any
heard
difference.
anyone.
He hasn't been influenced by either Kitty or Peggy, so he's got a 3. I'm making my own
thank you.
rules. We're going to go down to Peggy.
Well, number 2 didn't know that Coors is that swell beer they have out in Colorado and Wyoming. I can't imagine living out there and not knowing about that beer. Number 1 didn't know that brandy is in chicken merengue. When you were thinking of croque monsieur, croque bambouches, the little profiteroles. So I voted for 3 because not everybody knows about vitello tonato.
I did.
It's tuna fish and veal.
All right, we got a pair of 3s, and we're going to go to Bill Cullen.
Well, that's true. I didn't hold with what number 3 said about the advertising business. And number 2 did not know Coors beer, which is the beer in that area. So for that reason, acting along the same logic that Tom Kennedy did, I voted for number 1. And if you want to insist that change. I'll be
You're stuck with your 2
See,
because
it's
you've been
number
around here. A pair of 3s and a 2 and a Kitty Carlisle.
I weighed very carefully the Coors beer, and I realized that Coors beer is very famous out there.
Yep.
But this lady is a gourmet cook, and she knows all about French wines and French
what
food.
does she serve with sauerkraut?
She doesn't serve sauerkraut. You said blanquette de veau and all that chicken under glass, so I voted for number 2.
Well, gee, number 1, I did you out of a vote. I'm sorry about that, but you did. Tom did mean to go for number 3. We got him split 2 down the middle, so will the real. Georgina Newman.
It's 1.
Please stand up.
There she.
Georgina. Georgina, we'll be back to you. Number 1, I cheated you out of a vote, so you're going to get
You'll
50
owe
bucks.
me one.
I'm going to pay you $50 anyway.
That's beautiful.
So what's your real name and what do you do?
My name is Betty Marks, and I'm a literary agent.
Hey, nice to have you. Number 2 with 2 big wrong votes. What is your real name? What do you do?
My name is Isabel Riley. I work with the Gene Riley Group. We do attitudinal research. In my spare time, I run a house and 7 children.
And St. Margaret.
Mrs. Newman and friends, thank you all very much. You've given us a good time here on To Tell the Truth. Off you go. And so, friends, until the same time tomorrow, this is your White Tornado saying goodbye for us and for all the panel, and we hope that you'll come back again.
Transportation and other consideration provided by Pan American World Airways, featuring Theater in the Air, International Flag Food Service, Tours on Tape, and Weather Insurance, all new from the world's most experienced airline. Our central characters today get an elegant wardrobe from Ciro Shirtmaker, styled with a master's touch. New long points in today's exciting colors and stripings from Ciro. Prizes or product menus were furnished and or paid for by the manufacturers or supplier of the products or services identified on this program. This is Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Trotman production.